You've adopted a new cat and you already have a resident cat at home. Or you have two companion cats at home who previously got along and seem to have turned on each other. In this course, I will take you through all of the steps to do a structured introduction of your resident cat to the newcomer, a complete reintroduction for fighting companion cats, and all of the necessary stages for success. I'm Dr. Rachel Geller, certified cat behavior specialist and author of the book, Saving the World One Cat at a Time. Too often, behavioral issues can come between cats and their owners, and I've dedicated myself to breaking down these barriers and improving these relationships. My courses offer easy-to-implement solutions based on my lifelong understanding of cats and their behaviors. So now, let's help your cat. You want to do a proper introduction between your newcomer cat and your resident cat right from the beginning, because this will lay the foundation for how your cats will see each other and the associations that they will have each other in the future. A slow, structured introduction will stop those destructive cycles of aggression and fear from emerging. The separation of the newcomer from the resident cat will allow us to introduce the cats in a structured way so that your cats will feel calm, safe, and secure. And this process will carry them into a tolerant relationship. And you never know, they may even grow to love each other one day. I know people always feel bad about keeping the new cat in one room, but don't. The separation period for your newcomer cat is not a prison sentence. You can go in there as much as you want, and the cats who are new to a home should always start off in their own small room anyway. Remember, this is to let each cat stay calm and feel a sense of security. Defensive and aggressive behavior is due to feeling threatened, even if it's in the cat's own mind, and that is very stressful. So let's start off with the sanctuary room. Start by keeping the newcomer in his sanctuary room. Your resident cat should have free reign of your home. Give some thought to the room that is going to be the sanctuary room. You never want to take away preferential territory from your resident cat. So if your resident cat loves to sleep with you at night and wants to be on your bed during the nighttime, your bedroom should not be the sanctuary room. The sanctuary room should be the least preferable real estate in your home from your resident cat's perspective. The sanctuary room should also have a solid door. Make sure there is food and water on one side and a scratching post and litter box on the other side. The scratching post should be at least 3 feet tall and rope or sisal wrapped. This is important for the cat to get a full stretch. Make sure the newcomer has toys in his room. Toys are really important for solo play when you are not in the room with him, so that your new cat is busy trying to accomplish a task rather than focusing on his own tension and anxiety. Puzzle feeders and fuzzy mice are good options, but even a ball in a tissue box is a great no-cost option to keep him interested. If the room you are using as a sanctuary room has a bed or a bureau in it, block off the underneath so your newcomer does not spend all of his time hiding under the furniture. You can use luggage or storage containers or boxes to make the underneath inaccessible for your new cat. Make sure he has other hiding places, such as a cat cube, cat tunnel, or even a box on its side. This way, your new cat can hide, but you still have accessibility to him and can sit next to him. Your cat considers you his territory. Even though you can't 100% remove the scent of the newcomer, Wash your hands upon leaving the sanctuary room before returning to your resident cat, and the same the other way around. Keep a bathrobe or a large button-down shirt or even a light jacket, any type of covering to put over your clothes when you're with the newcomer in the sanctuary room. This prevents the cats from being too overwhelmed by all of the other cat smells. It's a really important part of the calming down process and helps to remove you from the territorial disputes. Anything we can do to lessen that stress, we want to do. With both of your cats, be cool, calm, and collected. Keep it light. Keep it casual, like nothing is different. If you are stressed or nervous by the introduction, they will be sure to pick up on it and they will blame each other. The cats may be agitated or stressed by the sounds and scents of each other, and your resident cat will know the newcomer is in that room, so he may growl, hiss, or display fearful or aggressive body postures. The newcomer may do the same. If either cat does this, allow that cat to calm down. Distract or redirect the cat with a toy so he works out any tension in a positive manner. Or lead the cat away from the sanctuary room door and offer him a yummy meal or a delicious treat. I also recommend that you spray a synthetic pheromone product on 2 towels and place one on the floor outside and one on the floor inside of the sanctuary room door to help calm both cats. This will trick the cats into thinking that this is a feel-good, friendly area. Now, stay at this stage until your resident cat is no longer agitated, fearful, or overly focused on that sanctuary room door. And wait until he seems like he doesn't remember that the newcomer is really in there. This might be 2 days, it could be a few days. Go at the cat's pace. Don't rush this. When the cats are calm, we can then move forward with the process. Go at the slower cat's pace. The next phase is the scent communication phase. This allows the cats to learn about each other and gather information in a controlled, safe, and secure way. It allows the cats to feel some sense of control over the situation. Sometimes, with cats, it is best to let them think that this was all their idea. This allows them to take everything in on their own terms. Take a clean sock. Gently rub the newcomer around the mouth and head. Take another separate sock and rub your resident cat in the same way. Place the sock with the newcomer's scent in an area where your resident cat hangs out a lot of the time, but not directly in his cat bed or favorite sleeping spot. Just have it in the room where he spends most of his time. Place the sock with your resident cat scents in the newcomer sanctuary room in a similarly neutral area. Continue with the stage until the cats seem comfortable, and this means no aggression, no posturing, and the cat is eating and using the litter box normally. Again, this can be 2 days, it might be 3 days, it could be a few days. Observe your cats carefully for signs that they are both comfortable. Look for signs of fear. Look for signs of aggression. Above all, go at the cat's pace. Do not go on until both cats are acting normally and go at the slower cat's pace. You can refresh the scents on the socks a couple of times a day. Now, we are not going on to this next step unless this is all going just fine. Now, the next step is the soil swap. You're going to keep going with the scent swap, but next, take a tiny bit of soiled litter from the newcomer's litter box and place it in the resident cat's box, and do the same the other way around. Just a very small amount is fine. Keep doing the soil swap along with the scent swap for at least 1 to 2 days. Make sure both cats are using the litter box without a problem. Do not go on to the next step unless both cats have accepted each other's scents and soil. Don't move on to this next step unless both cats are handling the scent and soil swapping 100% fine. If all of this is going well, now it's time to proceed to the next step. Place your resident cat in a separate room that has a solid door. You can use any room except for the newcomer's sanctuary room. Even a bathroom is okay. And close that door securely so that the newcomer can safely explore your house while your resident cat is safely in another room and can't be seen. Open the door to the sanctuary room and let the newcomer start to explore and investigate his home without the distraction or fear of your resident cat. The two cats should not be seeing each other yet. During this time, the newcomer gets information, but he also deposits his scents on his own time frame for your resident cat to take in on her own time frame. At first, let the newcomer have 1 or 2 10-minute sessions per day of exploring the house without your resident cat present. As soon as the newcomer is done with his session and is safely back in his sanctuary room with the door closed, now you can let your resident cat back out. Gradually increase the duration and amount of these sessions. Go to 1 or 2 12-minute sessions per day. Then go to 1 or 2 15-minute sessions per day. Then go to 1 or 2 20-minute sessions per day, and cap it for the rest of this program at 2 30-minute sessions per day. These 30-minute separate roaming sessions can continue throughout this program so that the newcomer gets time out of the room. You'll have to judge how often you do this step based on both cats' comfort level and acceptance. Make sure when the newcomer is out, he isn't only looking over his shoulder for your resident cat, and when your resident cat is back out from his temporary room, he's not overly focused on looking for the newcomer. Make sure that whichever cat is out, he isn't spending all of his time laser focused on the door where the other cat is. You need to wait for these behaviors to calm down before going to the next step. It could be days. Don't worry if it seems to be going slowly. That is okay. Just like people, each cat enters into a new relationship at a different pace and comfort level. Don't rush this, and don't be worried if it seems to be going slowly. It's okay. Do not go on to the next step until this is going well and the cats are not fixated on the room where the other cat is. After the scent stage has been going well, with the sock swapping and the soil swapping, and the cats have been out separately without seeing each other to deposit and gather scents, now we are ready for the next step. Now we'll feed them on opposite sides of the closed sanctuary room door. At the next meal, place the two cats' bowls on either side of the closed solid door to the sanctuary room. Gradually move the bowls closer with each feeding. When they can eat calmly with both bowls on either side of the closed solid door, we can go on to the next step, which is the food association step. If the cats are handling eating on either side of the closed sanctuary room door, now we are ready for what I call the food association stage. Food is motivating for a cat, especially a yummy treat that you know the cats really like. You can use food to help the cats form positive associations with each other. The aim is for the cats to associate the pleasurable activity of eating with the presence of the other cat. Each cat will think, I notice that whenever that other cat is nearby, there are delicious treats, and I get attention. Maybe this new cat is okay after all. Open the door to the sanctuary room a crack, just a crack, and let them see each other as you give them each a small meal of their regular food or a special treat. The cats need to be far enough apart so that they stay in their comfort zones. They do not need to be on either side of the door. They can start off several feet away from each other. Start wherever their comfort zones are. As soon as the meal is over, close the door. Do this for meals, do this for special treats, do this whenever you are able to do it easily. As the cats get more comfortable with each other, you can open the door a teeny bit wider and also move the bowls a little bit closer. Having the cats eat in front of each other teaches them that positive things happen when the other cat is around. Again, use your judgment in how quickly to proceed with this. My feeling is it is always best to be conservative. It's really important to have these sessions end on a positive note. So, I would rather you do a 5-second session with the door open a millimeter with the bowls 6 feet apart than to try to do a 2-minute session that ends with fur flying. If 5 seconds is all they can handle, then feed them the yummy treat for the 5 seconds, calmly close the door, and wait until the next session to try again. You want every session to end well, so shorter is better. You want each cat to eat, get attention, then the door closes with no negative interactions. We are building the foundation. Eventually, you can lengthen the duration of these sessions. Go slowly. Very gradually and incrementally lengthen the duration of these sessions. Very gradually and incrementally move the bowls closer. Very gradually and incrementally open the door a bit wider. You get the idea. Let the cat set the pace of the progress. You can reserve a super duper special treat for these sessions. I have had excellent luck with stinky, oily, cheap tuna fish. But you can also use a portion of your cat's regular food, and you can also use her prescription food as well. If your cat is on a special diet, this is fine. Stay on this phase until the bowls are pretty close, the door is at least 6 to 8 inches open, and they can eat most, if not all of their food without being fixated on the other cat. If you're free feeding and your cats are not super food motivated, I suggest picking up the food so that the cats are hungry and will want to participate in these sessions. For the food association stage, you want to start with a distance between the two cats that is not troubling to either cat. You will know you have the proper distance to start the stage from if the cats are not exhibiting any signs of arousal, aggression, or anxiety towards each other. In other words, both cats feel safe at this distance. And it's okay if the distance is large. We need to meet the cats where they are at. If at any time one of the cats becomes anxious, just increase the distance between the two cats until the cat is no longer fearful. During the next session, start again at the distance with which the cat was comfortable in the previous session. After several sessions at a particular distance, the cats will become more accustomed to each other's presence. Then, at this point, the next step is to decrease the distance by just an inch or two. Monitor the cats closely for early signs of anxiety. If there are no attempts to attack, no body language signaling impending doom, or no signs of anxiety, gradually and incrementally decrease the distance between the two cats, and gradually and incrementally open that door wider, and gradually and incrementally lengthen the duration of these sessions. At any time, if a cat becomes anxious, back up and start again at a cat-approved distance. Do not move on until all goals on this step have been achieved. The cats are eating close to each other. The door is open wide enough so that they could get to each other if they wanted to. The cats can eat their typical size portion of a meal or treat without being fixated on each other. Stay at this stage as long as necessary. Don't go on to this next stage until the prior stage, food association, is going well and the cats are able to eat relatively near each other. When this is going well, it is time for group play. Open the door to the sanctuary room so the cats can see each other and start off with just a crack again. And have a fishing pole or wand toy in your hand as well as solo toys handy so you are ready to distract and redirect the cats if tensions, fear, hissing, growling, or any aggressive posturings appear. During introductions, toys with movement or noise, such as ping pong balls or crinkly mylar balls, are good to have handy to divert one cat's attention from the other. You can even try having a fishing pole type toy in each hand and conduct a short group play session. You can enlist a family member or friend to help too. In this phase, every play session has to start off short. This is because you always want to end on a positive note. It's always better to end sooner than you think you need to. Being armed with treats during this phase is helpful too. Be sure to allow the cats multiple captures while they are playing. Let them get that toy. It's the captures that provide the feeling of happiness, satisfaction, and confidence. And it's the captures that divert the focus from the other cat to the toy. The captures are what gets those feel-good chemicals flowing. So this is how we create positive associations between the cats. Use the same desensitization techniques we have been using all along, lengthening the duration of the sessions, opening the door incrementally wider, and moving the cats closer. Calmly close the door when the session is over. Now, you can add a baby gate phase, but only if the last stage, the play stage, is going well. Now we are adding another element. We will use two baby gates, one on top of the other, instead of that closed solid door. You can also use a tall dog gate, a screen door, or a garden lattice. Now, the cats are always seeing and smelling each other, but there is still protection. At this point, they should be completely desensitized to each other by slowly going through the food association and group play stages. Continue to do that group feeding and continue to do those group interactive play sessions, but do them now on either side of the gate. Now the baby gate is there as protection 24/7. Be sure to do these sessions consistently. Have a large blanket or towel ready that you can place over the gate to end the session quickly if you need to. We can also use a blanket or towel to add another incremental step. When you first set up the gates, you can drape a blanket, comforter, or large towel vertically over the gate. Leave a few inches exposed on one side. Each day, gradually move the blanket to one side so that the exposed side becomes larger and the blanket-covered side becomes smaller. Some people do feel better with this interim step, and I'm fine if you want to add this into the process. When this stage is going well and the cats are doing well with the gait, you can begin letting the cats be together for very short periods of time. We will gradually and conservatively increase this time. What we are doing is systematic desensitization. This is an active process where the cats learn that a situation is neither important nor meaningful. When the situation doesn't harm either cat or have any consequences, the cats will stop reacting over time. With this type of learning, cats don't forget about a situation. Instead, they actively learn not to react to it over time. In other words, they get used to it. Systematic desensitization is a very controlled approach to presenting the cat with the thing they are afraid of or nervous about. In this case, another cat. And by doing it gradually and carefully, we can decrease the fear, anxiety, and stress. We aren't going to go from 0 to 60. At first, let the cats be together for one 10-minute session per day. When this is going well, go to one 15-minute session per day. When this is going well, go to one 20-minute session per day, and so forth. After each session, the cat who is in the gated sanctuary room goes back in. You can do more than one session per day, but don't add more time to the duration of each session until the prior time that you are using is going well. These sessions should be supervised until you are sure that the cats are okay. Eventually, you will build up to the cats being out and about during the day and separated by the gate at night. Finally, you will not need the gate. Keep a fishing pole type toy handy for distraction and redirection as the cats start spending more time together. Be preemptive and err on the side of caution. Disrupt, distract, and redirect if you even think or sense that there may be a negative interaction. When you distract a cat with a toy, you trigger his prey drive, which will shift your cat out of that aggressive state and into the positive state of a hunter. Even though he may have been planning to instigate with your other cat, a cat would much rather go after the prey. Then conduct a quick, interactive play session, moving him away from where he was about to instigate with that other cat and allowing him to work out his tension in a positive rather than aggressive way. Follow this with a special treat that you know your cat really loves. Your intimidated cat remains safe, and the aggressor gets to release his tension and releases stress in an appropriate way. A good toy for this that I recommend is the Cat Dancer. It's an inexpensive toy, so you can buy a lot of them and have them around your home. The Cat Dancer toy can be easily curled up and hidden under a seat or under a couch cushion or in a drawer. The more you have around, the better, because when it comes time to distract and redirect a cat, you don't want to be running through the house trying to find that right toy. At this point, don't worry if there is some occasional hissing. Hissing is fear and not overt aggression. Just keep the interactions calm and stay the course. Eventually, as they continue to see that the appearance of the other cat means food, treats, playtime, attention, these positive associations will become ingrained. The good thing about distraction and redirection training is that this is a positive way to do cat behavior modification. Cats like a reason to do a certain behavior. When you disrupt, distract, and redirect with play, you will break negative behavior patterns and give your cat a reason to stop going after the other cat, because now he's getting better options, playtime, positive attention from you, and rewarding treats instead. This is all much better. Be aware of the triggers or get a sense of what body signals let you know a fight or chase may be coming. But if you can't figure out this ahead of time, this is okay. Because once a cat goes towards the other cat, if you always have toys accessible, you can distract and redirect at any time. Now we're on to the supervision stage. Supervise the cats when they are together until you are sure that they are okay alone. However, keep that sanctuary room for a while until you feel that your newcomer no longer needs it. Even after the cats have settled in, make sure each cat has a space, and especially vertical space, that is clearly his. Also, make sure you have at least one more litter box than the number of cats you have, and that the litter boxes are not in the same room. In general, an introduction takes around 2 to 3 weeks. While some introductions take a shorter period of time, it is not unreasonable for some to take a longer period of time. A problem I often see is that people rush the introduction process, or they skip steps that they decide are not necessary, or they don't stay on each step long enough. When this happens, there could be aggression, intimidation, fear, or posturing. So you may need to walk it back to the beginning and start over again. When the situation has devolved into a destructive cycle of aggression or fear, the best course of action is to go through a complete reintroduction process, going through every step as if the cats have never met each other before. You will follow the exact same introduction process. Whenever you have cats who are fighting physically or verbally or fearful of each other, they have established a negative behavior pattern, and this keeps feeding the tension. To start the reintroduction, we will need to temporarily separate the cats again. This is an important part of the process because it allows each cat to calm down and regain a sense of security within her environment. It also stops that cycle of aggression. How the cat should be separated takes careful consideration. If we are redoing an introduction that was too rushed or not done properly, the newcomer goes back into the sanctuary room and we start over. However, if this is a case of aggression between companion cats who have previously lived together fine and something triggered that aggression, then the cat who is the aggressor should be the one separated into the sanctuary room. Examples of this are non-recognition aggression, when one cat returns from the veterinarian, and redirected aggression, such as when one cat sees an outdoor cat or gets triggered by something scary or unexpected. Sometimes cats can get into the cycle and they can't get back out again on their own. For example, a cat may get scared by a noise, become reactive, and take it out on his companion cat, and then the aggression continues. A reintroduction will break that cycle. Never expect cats to fight it out and resolve their issues this way. It does not work. You want to do a proper reintroduction because this will newly create a foundation for how your cats will see each other and the associations they will have with each other as they live together. We want the cats to start out calmly, safely, and securely with this reintroduction process. This will carry them back into a tolerant relationship. They may even grow to love each other again once more. Cats are territorial, so it is important to understand their need to feel secure in their own territory, and a reintroduction will take this into consideration. The reintroduction must be gradual. It must be positive to meet the needs of both cats. I like to bring everything down to ground zero in my reintroductions. Just like in an introduction, wash your hands before going to visit the cat in the sanctuary room, and the same the other way around. Wash your hands before returning to the other cat. Keep a covering in the sanctuary room to put over your clothes when you're with that cat in the sanctuary room, just as if you were doing an introduction for the first time. This prevents the cats from being too reactive and stimulated by the other cat's smells. Now, I know the cats have already smelled each other, but please do this anyway. It's an important part of the calming down process and removes you from the territorial disputes. We want to lessen the stimulation in any way that we can. Follow all of the steps, even if you think you don't need to. People will say to me, I don't need to do the sock scent swapping. They've already smelled each other. But it's more than that. When you use the sock method, the smells are not being forced onto the cat. The cat makes the decision on when and how often she wants to investigate. This gives the cat a sense of control, which is very important. So, do not skip any steps. A big reason to do a reintroduction is that if the relationship is not good between cats, the feelings of distrust or fear will only intensify and become ingrained over time. If we don't go through this process, the cats will not accept each other. Although I hear a lot of people say, just put the cats together. They'll figure it out on their own. This rarely happens. Cats usually don't work things out on their own. When they feel like the territory is up for grabs, they are simply unable to resolve their issues, and then they continue to be distrustful or fearful of each other. Sometimes, cat owners only need to try a few simple steps to help cats who previously got along okay and are now feeling anxious or aggressive around each other to go back to living together peacefully. Other times, cats must be reintroduced slowly. So when do I suggest that the cat owner walk it back and do a complete reintroduction, going all the way back to the beginning? If the newcomer cat has been recently added to the household and the introduction was rushed or too short, and there was never a tolerant relationship in the first place, I suggest a reintroduction. I also suggest a reintroduction when a cat has gotten hurt in a physical fight, or a cat has become so intimidated that she is withdrawing and hiding. So let's talk about certain situations. There are times that the same situation can affect cats in different ways. For example, after one cat comes back from the veterinarian, sometimes aggression can appear between the returning cat and the cat who did not see the veterinarian, even though they had coexisted peacefully before. If there is hissing, growling, and chasing between the two cats, but you're able to separate the cats with timeouts and do other interventions, and in a few days this behavior is lessening, then you may not need to do a reintroduction. But some cats, once they get into this cycle of aggression, they can't get themselves out of it. If the fights and attacks persist for 5 to 7 days and show absolutely no signs of improvement, you may need to do a complete reintroduction. Our help is going to be needed to get your cats through this. In conclusion, cats are territorial creatures and need to feel safe and secure within their own territory. It is stressful for a cat when she feels like her territory is suddenly up for grabs, and it's just as stressful for the other cat who feels like he was plopped into enemy territory. If you have adopted a second cat, be sensitive to what a big change this is for your resident cat. Give him the security of his usual routine and his own special time with you. Keep in mind that success doesn't necessarily mean your cats will be best buddies. Your goal with introductions is to set the stage for the cats to live peacefully and to share their home, but understand you simply cannot make cats like each other. This process takes time. Count on 2 to 4 weeks of integrating a kitten in an adult and 4 to 6 weeks or longer if integrating 2 adults. With this course, you now have the guidance to go through the necessary steps for a proper introduction, as well as the steps to walk things back into a complete reintroduction. Now your cats will accept each other, live together peacefully, and make life happier for them and you.